Level 1, the peasant boy who watches. You are 7 years old and you are standing at the edge of a rice field in feudal Japan. The mountains are behind you. The sky is the color of cold iron, and across the road, on horseback, a man passes. He is wearing armor, the color of lacquered night. His horse does not hurry. His back is straight in a way that your father's back has never been. There is a sword at his hip. 2 swords, actually, and the longer one catches the morning light for just a moment. You feel something in your chest that you cannot name yet because you are 7 and you don't have words for it. Your father is knee-deep in water behind you, tending the paddies. He does not look up when the samurai passes. He has learned not to look. You have not learned this yet. The samurai does not look at you either. You do not exist to him. You are a peasant child at the edge of a field, and you are as invisible to him as the mud is invisible to you. But you watched him, and you will not forget. You are born into the hymen, the common people. Your father grows rice. His father grew rice. The rice feeds the Lord. The Lord pays the samurai. The samurai protects the Lord. This is the Nibbon Seto, the status system, and it is as fixed and as permanent as the mountains behind you. Except, you are 7, and you watched that man pass, and something in you has already decided that you will not grow rice. Level 2, the shadow student. You are 11. You have made yourself useful. You are accepted into the household of a minor bushi named Hayashi. He has 3 sons of his own. He does not need you, but your father offered labor in exchange for your placement, and Hayashi accepted because an extra pair of hands costs nothing. You clean, you carry, you fetch water before dawn, and you sweep the courtyard after dark. But you watch Hayashi's eldest son practice his sword forms in the yard every morning. You watch the way the wooden training sword moves through the air, and you memorize the angles. At night, in the storage shed where you sleep, you practice with a stick. Not because anyone told you to. Because you cannot stop yourself. Hayashi notices the quality of your attention. There is a difference between a boy who looks and a boy who sees. He says, if you want to learn, you will wake up 1 hour earlier and you will not fall behind in your other duties. This is where it begins. With a stick in your hand in a cold yard before the sun comes up. And a man who will correct your grip without explaining why. And the understanding that the repetition is the point. Level 3, the page. You are 14. Hayashi's assessment is generous. You are not stupid, you do not quit, and you do not lie. You have been formally taken on as a koshu, a page. You travel with Hayashi to the castle town. You hold his horse. The sword training has intensified. You practice under the instruction of an older retainer named Fujimoto. Fujimoto lost 2 fingers on his right hand. He corrects with a sharp strike with his own bakken on whatever part of your body is wrong. You also begin your study of the 18 martial arts. Sword is the center, but there is also the bow and the spear. There is horsemanship. There is something about the communication between a rider and an animal that suits the way your mind works. You are also learning to read. Hayashi keeps scrolls, histories, military texts. Sun Tzu, imported from China. A sword in a stupid man's hand is a farming tool. Fujimoto tells you once. A sword in a thinking man's hand is a sword. You are 14, and your hands are calloused. The boy who stood at the edge of that rice field is still inside you somewhere. But he is very far back now, behind all this training that is slowly, deliberately, making you into something new. Level 4, the initiate, Genpuku. You are 15, and tonight your childhood ends. The ceremony is called Genpuku, and it is not long, and it is not elaborate, but it is exact. You are dressed in adult male clothing for the first time, the hakama, formal divided trousers, and the haori jacket. Your hair is shaved at the crown and dressed into the adult chanmage, the top knot that marks a man of warrior class. The feeling when it is done is strange. Your head feels lighter and heavier at the same time. Hayashi gives you a new name, not a nickname, a formal adult name, chosen with consideration, recorded, real. This name is the name you will carry into battle, and into death. It is the name by which history will know you. He also gives you your first real sword, not the bokkun, not the training weapon, a real katana, balanced in the way only a real sword is, different from anything you have trained with. It is obviously right. You understand that this object is not a gift. It is a responsibility. It is a covenant. The sword is never for display or show. The sword is for one thing, and that thing is to be ready. Level 5, the apprentice warrior Wakashk. You are 17, and you have seen your first real violence. An incident between 2 retainers escalated. You stood close enough to see what a sword does to a man when the user is serious. The forms are about control. This was about speed and desperation. One man on the ground, making a sound you've never heard. Hayashi stood between his group and the chaos with his hand on his sword, and his sword still in its scabbard. The warrior's discipline is not in the fighting, it is in the not fighting. The sword stays in the scabbard. You practice every day. You spar now, full contact with training weapons. The sparring is not gentle. You carry bruises most weeks. You are not the best, but you are consistent, even when tired or frustrated. You also begin to study Zen. Sitting still is harder than anything physical you have done. Machine no mind is the goal. The state in which the body responds before the thought forms. Level 6, The foot soldier Ashikaru Samurai. You are 22 and there is a war. The army assembles. You have never seen this many armed men in one place. Foot soldiers are everywhere. You take care of your horse, your weapons, your armor. A warrior who checks his equipment after breakfast. Discovery a problem too late. The battle is not what the stories describe. It is mostly chaos, noise, and the terrifying compression of time. You fight, you do not fail. You do the thing your training built you to do. You stay in your lane. You come out of it with blood on the blade that is not yours, and a shaking in your hands that takes 3 days to stop. You understand now what it was for. The early mornings, the sitting and breathing. The training held, and you are alive. Level 7, the full samurai bushi. You are 28, and you are your own man now. Hayashi died 3 years ago. Illness, not battle, which is how most men die even in wartime. His lord, assessing the household he left behind, chose to absorb the better retainers directly into his own service. You were one of them. You have a modest stipend paid in rice, which is the currency of this world. You have your own small residence within the castle town. You have 2 swords, the katana and the wakizashi, and you wear them in public because the entitlement is identity. The swords mark what you are. A samurai without his swords is a man without his name. You are responsible for a section of the Lord's defense. 12 men, half of them older than you. You conduct training, you manage their equipment and their conduct. When they fail, you are responsible, which means you work them hard enough that failure in application is not an option. The way of the samurai is found in death. You have turned this over in your mind for 3 years. Not as morbidity, but as a clarifying principle. A man who has accepted death is a man who does not flinch. He is capable because the fear of death has been removed. How do you act? That is the only question. Level 8, the senior retainer. Kara, you are 38. You are tired in a way that sleep does not fix. You are one of the inner circle of advisors who run the Lord's domain. It took you 20 years to get here, and you carry every one of them in your joints and in the stillness behind your eyes. Your responsibilities have expanded. You manage defenses, advise on military matters, and evaluate the young warriors. Because here is what 20 years have taught you. Obedience produces soldiers. Understanding produces warriors. When the structure collapses, the man who only followed instructions is lost. But the man who understood why is not your Lord trusts you. Trust in this world is built slowly, and the currency of it is not talent, but reliability. You are 38. Your sword hand is strong. What you have lost in speed, you have gained in economy. Economy is the art of spending only what is necessary. Level 9, the Master Sensei, Swordmaster. You are 52. You have left formal service with honor. You have a small dojo on the edge of the castle town, where young men come to you. The students who want to learn quickly, you send them elsewhere. What you do takes years, and it takes total commitment. Your teaching is not mystical. You are a man who has done one thing for 50 years. Mashen the no-mind state. You don't explain it to your students as a concept. You show them the conditions that make it possible and let them find it. The sword is the tool for this process. But the sword is not the point. It never was. The sword is a mirror. You cannot perform competence with a sword. You either are or you are not, and the moment of contact tells you. Level 10, the Legacy Bushido. You are old now, and the season is autumn, and the leaves are the color of old lacquer. A boy came to the edge of your property this morning. He stood at the fence and watched one of your senior students practice. You noticed him because most people look. This boy sees. He'll be back tomorrow. They always come back with that look. The system does not end. The boy at the fence is the same as the boy you were. You will do what your master did. Bushido, the way of the warrior, is not a code written in a book. It is a lived practice, like calluses on a sword hand. What it gives you is a way to meet every moment, including the last one, without flinching. The samurai is the country, made permanent, by being passed from one pair of hands to the next, one generation at a time.